He works hard for the money, so hard for the money. But it's Labor Day, and we don't have to work today. Just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. We're still working today. You know why? Because I'm better than you. I'm grinding. I'm on the hustle. I'm going hard for the cash. None of that is true. It's just when you're self-employed, you work every day. That's the thing, is people want to say, hey, work for yourself. You know, you'll be your own boss. You work whenever you want. Plot twist, you work all the time because there's always something that can be done. But that's part of the journey, baby. Just putting in the time with those years of having to do that, and then as you proceed, it gets better. It gets easier. You do start getting more time. And it's a labor of love. Staying on the topic of Labor Day, it's a labor of love when you do what you love, and you know, you're working hard to build your own dreams. If you work for a business, you're going to work hard to build someone else's. Bars. Stereotypical motivational quote, bars. You know? Shout out, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Labor Day. It doesn't even feel like a holiday. It doesn't feel like some special Labor Day. It just feels like another day in the pandy. You know? Shout out to the pandy. Still around. You got to respect the end of the day. Coronavirus. Be coronavirus in your life because you want that resiliency. You just want to, be coronavirus if you just want to confuse people on how you get inside of them. Bars, 7 minutes in heaven. God, there's a joke somewhere in there about, dang girl, you must be, is your name coronavirus? Because you confusing as fuck. Yeah. Anyway, we're not going to fucking brainstorm jokes with you guys right now. Labor Day. It's ironic. I wonder, because we have so many Americans unemployed, I wonder how Labor Day feels for everybody. I've never looked at Labor Day in the sense of what we're actually supposed to celebrate. If you didn't know, Labor Day is meant to celebrate the hardworking men and women of America, and in Canada, I guess they celebrate it as well. I forgot what year it started. I want to say it was like 18 something. Definitely was pretty early in there when coronavirus was just a little baby, a little speck in the eye of the Spanish flu or something, That's what's funny about diseases is even compared to the past, like, we always say like where everybody is just snowflakes and everybody's soft now compared to the previous generation. So is coronavirus. Think about the plague, Back in their day, I'd kill people. And coronavirus is like, well, in my day, I just get them kind of sick because I have a lot of anxiety and depression. That's how a modern disease feels in this current world that we live in. It like has a safe space. It only can infect you inside. It's like, I don't want to go out in the sunlight because I'm antisocial. Okay, if I go out there, I'll die. That's how coronavirus feels, being in this world. Coronavirus is, what is it, Gen Z? I can't even keep up anymore. I don't even know who the problem is anymore. I think we're all just the fucking problem. All human beings, We're just all killing this planet. We're just all doing it wrong. But we're just trying to get better every day, 1% better. That's what it's all about, right? That's something The Rock would say. I did see The Rock got coronavirus. It was a matter of time. I think it's a matter of time before every celebrity has coronavirus. Every celebrity and every person. I don't know if we're getting out of this, I think we're just going to fumble it all the way to the point where everybody does get it. And it's just like, well, this is our life now. I think that would be okay, in the sense of, like, we do have to have life go on at some point. I think we could get back to somewhat normalcy if we just took on a situation like the way Japan is with their culture of when people are sick, they just wear a face mask. I think, masks are important for a little bit, and maybe we just decrease parties for a while, or, it's just, I don't know. Why am I trying to talk like we're not in the middle of a pandemic still? I just don't know the answers anymore, guys. I used to feel like I knew everything growing up. That's the funny thing when you're a kid. When you're a kid, the world is so small, and you just think you know everything. And then as you get older, you start seeing the world is bigger and bigger. I think that's why a lot of people have certain ideals and, ideology about life and what it should be. And then as you get older, you're like, well, that shit doesn't work because this is the real world. You can have these grandiose ideas, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't work when you get older. You start seeing that certain things that you would love to be true, but you got to play the field where it lays, Got to stay in reality, but you got to keep that twinkle in your eye. Got to keep that twinkle in your eye. A lot of people, they go bitter, they go bad. Got to keep that twinkle. It's all about that twinkle in the eye at the end of the day. Twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle, I saw that, by the way, before I get off this rock stuff, the rock and coronavirus, he said it was pretty bad for him and his wife. I feel like if there's someone that shouldn't have been affected by coronavirus, it should have been the rock, okay? The amount of steroids, and I'm not hating, listen, everybody who takes steroids can't look like that, okay? The Rock is a very hard worker, but that man is juiced to the gills. I don't think he's doing it natural. There's no way. Why would you? That's the other thing is, why would you? Moral victories in the great words of Jay-Z. Moral victories are for minor league coaches. And Ye already told you we made you, you cockroaches. Bars. Jay-Z bars. Hove. Why wouldn't you do steroids if you're in the Rock situation? You're the biggest action star of all time, the highest grossing films. Your character is this giant rock, literally, of a man. Why wouldn't you do steroids? I don't see a problem with that. The problem that I see with steroids is when you're doing sports, when you're doing a sport with an agreed set of rules, a playing field, especially when it comes to fighting. That's one thing that I'm like, you see, the stakes are so high also. And I know there's steroids in like the NFL and everything. And dude, I wonder how many concussions they've given because of steroids. And I wonder how many concussions that they've gotten away from because they were on steroids and their body was able to recover faster, or they were able to flinch. You zig when you should have zagged, or they zag when they should zag, and get away from that shit. I know nothing about football. But when it comes to fighting and like the UFC, boxing, that's when I start having problems with people doing steroids, because you're agreeing under a set of rules that we're not going to do this. This is man to man. This is going to see who the better fighter is. And just the fact that it's just cheating. It's plain out, it's cheating. And I don't think there should be an excuse of, well, other people are doing it. Nah, I think you got to try to be a better person, Yeah, I don't like that when people cheat with fighting, because the consequences are you might give someone brain damage. You might change someone's career of them taking that loss, where you're going to change the route and destiny, the outcome of their family's future. Because, if you don't know fighting, the way it works is you have to get a certain amount of fights. You have to build your way up to a title shot, get to the main card, get to the main event. You have to build your record. You have to win these fights. And if you have a loss, it can put you back down to the bottom of the pile, especially if you have a loss against someone who cheated, terrible, shitty human. But I think in the end, especially with fighting, when you're the people who make huge weight cuts and they need that advantage over people, I think it's more of a mental thing. In the great words of one of the crows from Dumbo, don't cancel me for referring to one of the crows in Dumbo, you got to learn to fly without the feather. It's because one day you're not going to have those steroids, and whether that's through testing. So I always thought that people who constantly kept getting popped for steroids, it's a mental weakness that they felt like they needed that edge, that they couldn't just do it on their own. And I think in certain moments in fights, they're going to be the ones that can't push through because they don't have their feather, if you will. But then again, the fuck do I know about steroids? I've been taking steroids since I was 10 years old. That's when the change happened, you know? I went from a fat little morbidly, possibly on the edge of obesity, to the chiseled man you see today. I was never morbidly obese. But I remember the first day I started getting fat as a kid. It's actually funny because when I was a little kid, I was very skinny, Ethiopian skinny, if you will. They could have put me in a commercial and that guilted people to send 10 cents a day, you know, to feed me. They'd be like, that one's a little light skinned, but he's got the ribs for it. But I was very skinny, and it was to the point where my parents didn't want me to, well, my mom, she didn't want me to take my shirt off at the beach because she was like, someone's going to call social services on us because he is way too skinny. And I got a big ass head. I have a huge dome. Okay. They used to call me the alien when I was a kid. The alien from like Ridley Scott Alien, where it was like, because I had such a big dome. Still do. Kind of grew into it a little bit. But I was so skinny that they didn't want me to take my shirt off. And then I remember one night, everybody, I don't know where everybody went. They were gone. And it was just, I think my sister was upstairs supposed to be watching me. And I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast, but I go down to the pantry downstairs and I'm looking at all the cereal. Listen, my dad he used to be a cereal connoisseur. And it was only the off-brands. Like, we never had, really. Like, now he gets it for my nieces and stuff, his grandkids. They get spoiled with the name brand shit. They're getting fucking Lucky Charms. They're getting Frosted Flakes. They're getting the real Tiger on them, okay? They're getting that real Tiger, okay? That name brand shit. They're not getting that. They're okay. You know, they're getting the great stuff. But we would just get the off-brand cereal. I have a bit about this, but I never got Fruit Loops. I get Loopy Fruits. It'd just be some boring ass parakeet instead of a toucan. But I remember looking at all the cereal, literally probably 20 boxes of cereal and bags, like the weird bags. That's how you know you have ghetto cereal, is when that shit is in like a name brand, like Chocos, Wacos, and it's like supposed to be Cuckoo Crisp, but it's like, yeah, they're just in a bag. They didn't even have the money for a box. They didn't want to spend for that cardboard. And I remember looking at it, and I just went, I did a science experiment. I've always been a curious man in the name of science and research and exploration. I look at it, and I just go, what would happen if I took all those cereal out and I just kept eating it? Could I finish it? Like, is there a point where I have a limit? This is my scientist brain. I was doing studies. I was like, this is a clinical trial to see if I can eat to infinity. And I remember I got out a gallon of milk. I got out at least 5 or 6 boxes of food. And I just started eating cereal. I kept filling it up, bowl after bowl after bowl, to the point I got sick. And I didn't throw up, but I remember I ate at least 9 to 10 bowls of cereal as a little starving Ethiopian kid. And I remember I got to the point where my stomach was hurting and I could like barely breathe because I had so much food. I could feel it in my chest, my throat. And I remember I went to the dining room. I stood up on the chair to look in the mirror, and my belly, I didn't have a shirt on. I was rocking it, just rocking it in the free world. And I look in the mirror, and it looks like I'm 5 months pregnant as a little kid. It's the weirdest shit ever. My belly is literally distended like a black widow spider. And I'm just holding it and marveling at it. And I'm like, I legit have a cereal baby. And my body never snapped back. Okay, after that pregnancy, it never snapped back. I think I broke myself. I broke my body because my body was like, oh shit, this is an option? Well, we see that food daily. Why don't we just eat a lot of it? And ever since then, I think I stretched my tum-tum out and I just would eat so much more to the point that like I never could feel that hole of that first time, giggity. And yeah, I've then ventured into becoming a fat little kid for years. It stuck with me for that baby weight stuck with me for at least till I was about 13 years old. Maybe 12, 13, I started really trimming down. My older brother, Sean, he also went through a fat period. And then he went through a completely ripped, they used to call him the light-skinned Bruce Lee. Just Jack Diesel, like Bruce Lee. And I remember I told him, because he used to always tell me, like, dude, cheese is the devil. He had all these different little, like, things he would say. And he was a Jedi, for real. He would, like, sleep on the floor with just a blanket. Real Jedi shit, real discipline. The most disciplined person I've ever met in my life. And I remember I finally was like, fuck it. And I basically became his Padawan. And I was like, all right, help me get in shape. And I remember real stringent rules, real hardcore. And he would just be like, listen, all right, now, you like dessert. I know you like this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, obviously, look at me. And he'd be like, I got a solution for that. I got a fix. And I'm like, oh shit, brother, what is it? And he'd be like, okay, when you want ice cream, when you want dessert at night, you know, something a little sweet tooth, yeah, you're going to chew on ice. It's just the same. What? That's not the same at all, okay? You want me to chew on ice and think that's going to be dessert for me? Are you fucking crazy? That's how you fucking stay so disciplined. You're fucking nuts. And I remember I still love fucking blue cheese and ranch on salad. He'd be like, I know you like that stuff, but I got a solution. Yeah, I'm listening. All right, when you get a salad, you make it up all nice. Just lettuce. Okay, that's not really salad. That's just lettuce at the end of the day, but keep going. All right, instead of, you know, you really like blue cheese ranch? Yeah. Put Tabasco. Huh? What? You want me to just put Tabasco? And that's now my salad? That's my dressing. Yeah. Same thing. So it was rough losing that weight. Okay, it took a little longer than expected, but it happened. It's funny now though. I still love Tabasco on everything. On lettuce, on rice. Oh, I love a good plate of rice with the Tabasco, eggs. Phenomenal. Tabasco works on anything except dessert. You know. Good times, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of crazy shit, so I wake up this morning and the most insane shit. I wake up and I literally walk out to the living room and I'm like, why is my fucking room orange? Like a fucking Disney movie sunrise is coming through the window. And I look out in the window and of course, smoke everywhere. Just fucking the sky, red smoke. And I'm like, great, here we go again. Hashtag fire season, hashtag California. And I'm looking all over and my buddy sends me a text. The fire currently in California as of Labor Day, September 7th, was caused by a gender reveal party gone wrong. What the actual fuck? A gender reveal pyrotechnic fire is what caused 7,000 acres to be burned. 7,000 acres burned because of a gender reveal party. This couple, I hate you. I hate everything about you. Okay? I hate anybody who does a gender reveal party. Okay? That's the most annoying thing. You are one divorce away from being the 30-year-old or 35-year-old having a birthday party where you have to wear a tiara at it. There's nothing worse than older people who are celebrating their birthday in public and are like, woo! That party also always ends with crying. Whenever a person is just like, woo! They're crying a half hour later. That would even happen in college where someone would just, I remember I started picking it out and I'd go to a party and a girl would be partying too hard. She's jumping around. Woo! 30 minutes later, I'm like, you are running from something. You are running from something. Okay. But this gender reveal party, they have to be held responsible for that, right? Like they're going to be working to pay the firefighters pay, or what? Like, I think that if your gender reveal party causes a forest fire of 7,000 acres and burns and people have to get evacuated, your child, when it is born, belongs to the fire department. That's the only thing that seems fair, right? Like that, they have to work their life now to pay back for what they caused, okay? I know it wasn't the kid's fault, but listen, I know it's your parents, but you're a combination of both of them. It's kind of on you too, okay? Because if you hadn't have shown up, you weren't so needy and had to swim to that egg, we wouldn't have been in this mess, okay? A gender reveal party caused a forest fire. Someone's got to be held responsible. That's so wild. There's so much more I feel like I can talk about this. I've never been to a gender reveal party. Listen, this is a PSA. This is a PSA to everybody. Don't ask me to be part of your pyramid scheme, and don't ask me to come to your gender reveal party. You know what all your gender reveal party should be? Ready? Here it is. Here's my gender reveal party. I'm having a boy. That's it. That's all you got to say. Ready? It's a girl. Ready for the gender reveal. Ready? Right here. Ready? Hey, man. It's a girl. Cool. That's it. For the people just listening to the podcast, I picked up my phone for that last act out. I'm sorry. That was a lot. But this is what people who do gender reveal parties do to me. Okay? Oh, man. Gender reveal parties. Why? Who like, what kind of person does a gender reveal party? I know I'm gonna have people hate on me because, listen, I haven't really seen too many people I know do gender reveal parties, but I'm sure they're out there, and I'm halfway kidding. I'm not kidding at all. I don't like it. It's a weird thing. It's a waste of. It's like it's such a cry for, I don't know. It's an attention grab. It's a weird one. Even though I'm doing a podcast, listen, it's an attention grab. What else is up? Let's change the channel on that one. Mulan came out. If you didn't see, I did a full movie reveal or movie review. I'll never do a reveal unless I come out. I finally admit I'm gay. I'm gay. You know, I say that to my girl a lot. I'll just be laying in bed and I'll just be saying something. I'll be like, yeah, I don't know. I think I should probably. I'm gay. Wait, what'd you say? I'm gay. I've been gay this whole time. But Mulan came out. Great movie. Okay, I did have some issues with it, but it's a great movie. And here's on the flip side. I did a movie review because Mulan had a lot of potential. That was one of my favorite Disney movies as a kid. Okay, Mushu. Dude, Mushu in Mulan is almost as iconic as the genie in Aladdin. Bars. I said it. You canceled. Phenomenal movie. And a great, dude, the songs in Mulan. One of the best soundtracks of all time. I'm never gonna catch my breath. Say goodbye to those who knew me. Oh, I was a fool in school for a cutting gem. This guy's got me scared to death. Hope he doesn't see right through me. Yeah, I like the movie. Okay, it's a great movie. But there's so many people boycotting everything just to boycott it. Like, I don't even want to say cancel culture anymore, but it's cancel culture. You cancel. People just want, like, I don't get why people put their own thing on everything online. I don't know if it's also heightened because of the pandemic, but people get so upset over everything. They're upset that, you know, people were saying that, I saw like the LGBTQ group, or I don't know, all the acronyms. They were upset because one of the characters in Mulan got taken out and it was possibly a transgender character or something. And I'm like, what? How can you grasp for those straws? You should be more upset about the dragon being taken out. Mushu wasn't in it. Okay? It's a fucking problem. But it's like, man, it's a weird rabbit hole when you dive down the kind of entertainment that has to be done. Like, this was a whole other side of Mulan that I didn't even talk about in the review, and kind of a rabbit hole I went down just reading about it, is how many Disney movies are edited to sync up with China, with China's beliefs, with the way that what's acceptable for them, which is why it felt like Mulan was so monotone. Sorry for the spoiler alert. It's a great movie, but it felt very harnessed. And I've started looking at the Chinese market is so important for films in the United States that it's almost like they strong arm the Disney movies and these studios to make movies that conform to what they want, because that's the biggest audience, is that international audience. And that's insane. That's crazy. It's crazy. This is why I always am like, I mentioned this in the video about Mulan, is that like, I love doing stand-up comedy and I love doing podcasting. This is perfect for me. And I love doing independent films. I love working with people, and I do work with people. But for the most part, I can do and say whatever I want and create whatever I want, because I've taken getting back to the beginning of the labor of love of building my own business and doing my own thing. Dude, there was lots of years. I think I've said this before, where I worked as a food delivery truck, an Uber driver, work construction, just regular day labor. I've fucking packaged, meal prep. I've done so much shit just to make money to pay for stuff that I would use to one day pay me back with a career. Whether that was microphones, whether that was computers and cameras and all this stuff. I was making for years zero from everything that I have. It was a long time, probably longer than it should have been, but it was a long time of me just constantly investing in myself and my own business and not seeing any return for years, just constantly losing money in it and doing all these other shitty jobs just to be able to pay for it. But that investment is paying off in the sense of, and I'm still going, I'm still moving forward. This isn't the end goal. It's put me in a position to where I'm like, I don't have to worry about someone taking away my income. I don't have to worry about someone doing cutbacks. I don't have to worry, like, I'm in charge of everything in my life, my own destiny, if you will. Because I put that investment into myself rather than just into a company, just for a good salary and a good, health benefits and all that stuff that you do with the safe route, which it's okay. Everybody is not meant to do their own thing. Those salary jobs and the benefits and careers like that with companies, some people, that gives them the great fulfillment of being part of a big team like that. And the shut off, because there is side effects to doing what I do. The side effects, the shut off of not being so worried about where this is going, how you're going to make money, what you're going to do. Like, you're 100% responsible for everything, It's not like I just finish at 5 p.m. and now I'm home. Now I'm doing this. I don't have to worry about this or that. No, I still have to deal with emails and clients calling me and customers and all this stuff that I have to do. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for the fucking world. And this was the point I was making with Disney, is that it's rough. It's rough because Disney is a conglomerate. And not only does it generate so much money for itself, it also employs so many people. So while it's profiting, there's so much cost. There's so much overhead to keep a machine like that moving, especially in a situation like a pandemic. Wow. Where they're losing so much money on their parks, on their theatrical releases, on their merch. And you can say, yeah, they're still selling merch, but here's the thing. A lot of the merch is driven by people attending the park. A lot of the merch is driven by people going to the movie, getting so into the movie that, they get inspired to go buy this merch. This is a big belief of mine with movie theaters. There is no better way to watch a movie than in a movie theater. It's just like watching live comedy. Think about how much you've laughed at someone's set by yourself on YouTube. It's rare, but I'll do it every now and then where I'll actually laugh out loud at someone's video when I'm alone. But when you're actually in a club and that energy, that atmosphere of the crowd laughing and you guys are all there together, there's an energy in that live performance, and that's what it's supposed to be. I think the same thing is said for movies when you go for the first time. Hearing the reaction of the crowd. That's why the audience makes and breaks a movie. Because sometimes you get a dumb fuck who keeps talking behind you and it will ruin the experience. But sometimes you get a great audience where the vibe is good and everybody's along for the ride. We're all laughing at the same parts. And it makes it that much better and that much more enjoyable. I'm also a big believer in, I love watching films without any interruption. I love it. It's like the same ritual I take when like a new album comes out, someone that I really like Eminem drops an album. You best believe I'm giving that the headphones, light off treatment. Okay, that first listen through, I'm either going to pull up the lyrics and be reading it as I'm listening to it, or I'm just laying there at night and I'm just, you know, just taking it all in. That's what you got to do with movies. Is actually give it that 100% attention. And I think that's what a big issue with this pandemic is a lot of people aren't getting as into movies as they would be as if they went to the theaters to watch it. You're busy, you're looking at your phone, there's other shit going on. You're not getting lost in that world, which I actually think can sometimes be as important as like a massage for your body, is actually going to the theater and enjoying that movie, seeing it in person, and getting that 2.5 hour of escape. You go to the movie theater, listen, it's like therapy, at least for me. This is why I love movies so much. I sneak a couple Zevias, a couple, sugar-free sodas in my pocket. I got my Zevs. I got my snacks. I bring my own shit. I don't give a shit. I ain't paying $7 for that fucking shitty-ass popcorn. I brought my own, okay? As soon as I walk through the door, I'm in this world. I'm not worried about anything else going on. For those 2.5 hours, 2 hours I'm there, I'm here for the ride, baby. I'm here for the moment I sit in the chair and I can recline my seat. I get that shit right. Perfect. We're ready. I enjoy the process of sitting there and watching other people scurry in to find their seat. Maybe it's an old couple and they're bickering as they're going down the aisle. He's trying to tell her, we're over here, and she's getting upset because she constantly has to deal with this bullshit. And she's like, no, this is E right here. We're on that side. And then they, passively aggressive walk in front of you because they're supposed to go around the other aisle, and then you see the kids running in and it's like a Marvel movie and one of them has a fucking, Spider-Man mask on and he's like, and I'm like, hey kid, if you point that fucking thing at me again, I'm gonna kill you. Just kidding. But it's a whole experience. And then the previews. I love a good preview at a movie theater. I also like, what's great is when you're there for a movie that you wanted to see more than anything you saw in the previews. It doesn't get better than that. It's funny because sometimes you'll be sitting there watching the previews and you're like, fuck, I wish I was watching that movie right now. But it's a special moment when you're there and you're like, nah, this feature film is what I want to see the most. And then the previews end and all of a sudden the lights dim and all of a sudden, yeah, I'm watching Star Wars. But it's a whole great thing, and I really think it's important to get you into that zone to take in that movie. Okay? It's important to be passionate about things, and I'm passionate about movies. Okay? They're great storytelling. I fucking love it. But yeah, I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We had a good one, right? It's a little warm, okay? It's a little warm. If you didn't like this episode, feel free to leave a comment saying you did anyway. Just support me. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't. It all helps me out. If you go on the YouTube description, I have a bunch of Amazon affiliate links. It helps me out if you use those links when you shop, so I can keep paying the little elves that help me run the studio, okay? And I just want to say to the people who reach out and tell me certain things they love about episodes, it means so much to me. And I really appreciate everybody who is willing to spend their time with me. Time is precious, and for you guys to listen to me just be a dumbass, it means the world to me. So that's why I always tell you at the end of every episode, I love you still, or I love you anyways, and I'll always love you forever, unless you fuck up. I love you.